So this all started with my 2017 outdoor track and field season. Now, that was a pretty big wash up for me. I was struggling with both mono and iron deficiency at the same time, and I was putting in a lot of work and not getting any results out of it, and it's incredibly frustrating to watch. And at this time, I was eating normal foods, I was doing all the right things, you know, just trying to feel good, feel healthy, and you know, it just wasn't working out because of the unlucky circumstances that I was given with being both anemic and having mono at the same time. Needless to say, the season was pretty bad, and mentally that took a big hit for me. I struggled a lot with that, and I blamed a lot of it on myself, just because of the way that my mind works and my work ethic. I tend to overwork and not take enough rest. That's just how I've always been. So moving forward, that summer, getting ready for cross country this last season, I was trying to do everything that I possibly could to get ready for the season, to make sure that it was a much better season than that track season was. And don't get me wrong, it was a very good season. I ended up running about 26:05 in the 8K, which is, I think, a pretty good time. It's the equivalent of like a 15 flat 5K, but it could have been better, and that's where I'm getting to. That summer I started reading some things on Let's Run forums and different group chats online about how to improve running, because, you know, it's always a process. You're always trying to do the little things right. And I started reading some forums talking about race weight and the ideal weight that you need to be in order to race well. And you see things like, for every pound that you lose in the marathon, you lose it 50 seconds off your time. And those numbers kind of pull you in, you know. And to some extent, that might be true. You know, you might lose weight and be able to run faster, but how long can you maintain that? And how much weight can you lose before it hurts? And that's just not something you really want to screw around with, in my head. So I was about 160 pounds at the beginning of summer, and by the end of cross country season, I was between 147 and 148 pounds, which is extremely light for me, for my body build, and I could feel it. There was never a race the entire season where my body felt entirely recovered and like my muscles were at 100% ready to go, ready to get after a race. I always felt like my lungs were never working anywhere near as hard as my body was, and I know that's my fault entirely, and that just comes down to nutrition and eating. I don't want to say that I had an eating disorder, but I probably did. And a lot of runners do. A lot of runners struggle with that, and I've seen it. There's been more than one guy just on my team alone that struggled with it, and it's hard. Everyone's built differently, and if you want to be a good runner, you just need to put in the work and you need to recover. That's so much more important than what you weigh. I can't stress that enough. Right now, what I'm focusing on doing is getting in good mileage and eating well and making sure that my body is just getting enough food in me to recover and to do what it needs to do the next day. And at the end of the day, it's been working out so well. I remember this summer there'd be times I was going for 7, 8, 9 mile runs, and man, I didn't even know if I could bring myself to go out the door just because my body was so tired and not recovered and not ready to work anymore. And here I am now running 15, 16 miles a day, and my body is always firing. I'm always ready to go, and it's because of the food. I know it is. And you can't cut off calories and expect to do well. You just can't. As a runner, like I said, you just need to focus on getting enough food in. That's honestly it. I don't really want to do this, but maybe it'll help some of you guys feel more comfortable. I don't look like a runner. Like I said, I weigh 170 pounds, roughly, and you can tell that I'm a little more bulky and a little heavier built, but this is how I am healthy, and this is my genetics, and this is how I look as a runner. This is my body, and I need to be proud of it, and I need to know that I can race well with what I'm given by God, you know. So I don't know. I've got a much bigger chest than most people, most runners. You can't see each of my individual abs. I'm not super thin by any means. I've got pretty big shoulders. I've got bigger arms. I'm barrel chested for a runner. But that's just how I'm built. And when I'm just running, and when I'm eating what I need to eat, this is where my body sits. And it's important to know that. It's important to know your genetics and what your body needs and what your body's going to do in order to race well. If there's ever any of my videos that I would tell my subscribers to really pay attention to, it would be this one. I screw around a lot and I like to have fun. That's who I am as a person. I'm not a super serious dude, but this is something that I'm always going to be serious about, is you just need to eat well, and you can't focus on the race weight. It's going to cause more problems then it's going to help you. That's true, completely. A good friend of mine, Ryan Bugler, told me at the end of cross country season, and I'm sure that he knew I was struggling with this, and I'm really thankful that he told me this, is running is really simple. You just need to run and you need to recover. And what he meant by that is, don't think about the food. Don't think about how much you weigh or the numbers or this and that. You just need to put in the work, and you need to recover, and you need to go do it again. It's that simple, guys. I really hope that you can take that away from this. It was pretty tough for me to make this video because I didn't want to share my story, but maybe I thought if I personalize this a little bit and tell you guys where I've come from and how tough this was for me, that maybe you guys would, you know, be able to relate. So if any of you want to share your story with me, you can message me on Instagram or Facebook or leave a comment on YouTube, and I'd love to chat with you. Eating disorders and food has always been a huge stigma in running that's tough to talk about because so many people struggle with it, and you all just need to know that it doesn't need to be a struggle, that we're all runners are here for each other. It's a community, and I just want to watch you all succeed, you know? So if you have any questions about race weight or about food, I would love to talk to you guys about it. But I guess that's it for this video. So feel free to shoot me a message if you want to talk about any of this. Until next time, peace, love, and praise the booty.